Personally, my whole philosophy and foundation is like the nervous system is the most important system in the whole entire body because it regulates everything. Your nervous system, your central nervous system is your brain and your spinal cord. It controls everything. It's the control center of your body. Tells everything what to do. All of your nerves innervate every cell, tissue, and organ in your body and give all of the messages that you need to complete every single task that you do. So if you're not caring for your nervous system and you're in a state of fight or flight all the time, like no wonder you're not sleeping.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
regulating your nervous system, like taking a few deep breaths. Like, hey everyone. So we already know how many people feel stuck in the limitations of conventional medicine, and that's exactly why I created Holistic Health with Melissa, to take you on a journey from conventional to crunchy. Here you'll get empowering wellness insights, practical tips, and faith-centered strategies to help you feel your absolute best. In each episode, we'll dig into what true health and wellness really means. We'll dive into nutrition, lifestyle, mindset, and detox, all things so important to your health. We'll chat about raising kids with intention and living life of faith. So join me to reclaim your energy, embrace your healthiest life, and find joy and purpose along the way. Hey ladies, thank you for being here. I am so excited to dive into today's podcast. But first, I want to grab your full attention really quick because I want to talk about something really exciting that's coming up. If you have been feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, anxious, or you feel like you're just living in constant survival mode, then listen up because this is for you. I am hosting a brand new 3-day mind-body healing workshop. It's unlike anything I've ever done before. This is for you if you're a woman who feels like you've tried everything. You've tried all the supplements, the diets, the therapy, the positive thinking, and you still feel stuck in your stress, stuck in your symptoms, and in a spiral of burnout and survival mode. Over the course of these 3 powerful days, I'm going to teach you the exact nervous system regulation techniques that helped me and hundreds of women like you finally get out of fight or flight, start healing from chronic stress and trauma, and reconnect with our true selves, reclaiming our energy, getting our confidence back, and finally living in alignment with God's calling. You'll learn how to calm your body in real time, release trapped emotions and patterns that are keeping you stuck, release those limiting beliefs that are ruminating in your head, reclaim your energy and your mental clarity, regulate your emotions instead of reacting, rebuild your confidence and self-trust, and start feeling safe in your body again. This isn't just about managing your symptoms, it's about transformation. It's about becoming the woman who no longer feels like she's barely holding it all together. It's about healing at the root of your symptoms so you can finally feel that peace, your power, and your purpose in your everyday life. It's practical, powerful, and it's exactly what your nervous system has been craving. So grab your spot now. The link is in the show notes. There's limited spots available. I cannot wait to walk through this with you. See you there. Because he's the one that put, do you want it to go to Noah or do you want me to?
Yeah, just have it go to Noah. That's fine.
Okay. Oh wait, it says preferred email. It is your email.
Okay, then send it to me. That'll be
Okay. Either one. That's so weird that it says preferred email here, but I couldn't. Oh, because it says, okay, I'll send it to both of you guys. So you can share it with your audience if you
Okay,
wish.
yeah, we definitely will.
And then, yeah, sound good?
Perfect.
Okay. Hey everyone, welcome back to Holistic Health with Melissa. I am so happy that you are here. We have a special guest today, Laurie Hamner. I'm going to read her bio really quick. Being a mom and business owner isn't easy. Juggling responsibilities, sleepless nights, and constant demands can feel overwhelming. She knows this struggle firsthand. Before motherhood, she battled an eating disorder, anxiety, and depression, affecting her health, relationships, and overall well-being. Discovering amino acid therapy changed everything, helping her reclaim her life and igniting her passion for health and wellness. Laurie has a degree in psychology and a certification in nutritional therapy and created the Calm Mom Method, a proven approach to help moms manage anxiety, restore energy, and live with purpose. What an incredible bio, Laurie. I am so happy that you are here. I cannot wait to dive in and talk more. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you, Melissa. I am so happy to be here. I love your mission. I love your podcast. Your audience is very blessed to have you.
Oh, thank you so much for saying that. I received that. Um, yeah, I would love to just hear kind of as, an overview of how you wound up here. Like, what is your story? How did you find nutritional therapy and amino acid therapy, and how did you wind up doing the work that you're doing?
Yeah, this is kind of a long story, so I'll try to
Yeah.
make it short and sweet. I struggled with an eating disorder for almost 12 years of my life, and I tried to get into eating disorder programs. I didn't qualify for any of them because I wasn't suicidal enough, I wasn't underweight enough. And so I was just struggling. I was trying to white knuckle through the day. I was going to counseling. I was, going to church. I was doing all sorts of different things, groups, eating disorder groups, everything like that. And it just kept getting worse. I was passing out. I was having seizures. I was just a mess. I wasn't going to my nursing clinicals. I was in nursing school at the time. And I was really blessed to have a nursing school professor. Her name was Penny, and she kind of took me under her wing. She was my psychiatric nursing professor, and she's like, "Hey, we're gonna try." And she tried. She tried really hard to help me, and we just couldn't figure it out. And so then I met a boy, and I thought if I move away, everything will get better. And so I moved away, and it just got worse. So then the same nursing professor sent me an article from a random GNC magazine, and I love how God does that. That said, it was an article about food addiction, and it says that you are addicted to what you're allergic to or you're sensitive to. And so I read the article. I'm like, this makes sense. She's like, well, then call them. It was an outpatient clinic in Mill Valley, California. So I called out there, and they're like, yeah, come on out. So I went out there for a whole week. I indeed was very sensitive, and I had celiac disease. So everything that I was binging and purging on was something that I was sensitive to. So
Oh,
all the dairy, all the gluten, all the sugar, found out I had yeast overgrowth, adrenal issues, thyroid issues. So, and the most important thing, and this is why I do what I do now, is they do amino acid therapy, or they did amino acid therapy. So where they give you therapeutic doses of amino acids to target specific neurotransmitters in your brain, and all of a sudden the anxiety flipped, and then
mm,
the food cravings stopped. And then so I wasn't in this vicious food craving cycle anymore. And then I could actually work through the things that were still left over in counseling, because once my brain was more balanced, I realized I didn't have as much to work on because I wasn't so anxious and depressed all the time. Like I could just see life completely different. And so that actually really, really saved my life, Melissa. And so that was my first introduction to what wasn't it wasn't called functional nutrition at the time, but functional nutrition, functional medicine way back in 1996. And so I'm kind of old. Um, but anyway, so I just started going on that path, and I didn't finish nursing school. I got my degree in psychology thinking, oh, that's what I'll do. And then fast forward a few years, I had my kids, and I'm like, I really am so interested in this nutrition piece, and I want to dive deeper. But before that, I was diagnosed with a rare cancer. And I was the healthiest person I knew. I was already on that path. I was eating well, living well, all those things. And so I never expected this cancer diagnosis. And my youngest, my daughter, was 5 months old at the time. So it was very, very scary. And I was radically, miraculously healed in that whole scenario. So I was healed before I ever did anything. And so I never did any conventional treatment. God just radically healed me. And then he opened amazing doors for me to see some just beautiful holistic practitioners to help me figure out why I got the cancer diagnosis to start with. And so then that set my paradigm, even deeper. And then that led me into going back to school for, the functional nutrition and then the neuronutrient stuff. And then, here I am in 2025. Just, I love what I do every single day and I get to watch lives change. And, each of our family members has their own story. Both my kids have celiac. My daughter's really struggled with some pretty significant head injuries. And so we've overcome all of that. So, you know how your own life story kind of leads you in, and then God brings the clients in to kind of match what you've just learned.
Wow. What a powerful story. I am just like blown away by his goodness, first of all.
Always.
But like, God bless Penny, Nurse Penny.
Yes, Nurse Penny.
Wow. Just out of curiosity, do you talk to her anymore? Does she,
Sadly, we like she moved away and then I never got her contact information. Like she divorced her husband. And so Penny, if you're listening, I
yeah,
would love to talk to you.
yeah,
Yeah, I would love
contact
to connect.
Lori.
Please, please.
Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful story. I'm so like impressed by the whole, every time I talk to people like that are able to use their tragedy to help other people. It's mind-blowing and so beautiful.
Yeah.
So thank you for like using your mess as your message and actually like showing up and wanting to help other people who are going through the same thing. That's just
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
work.
I mean, we just want to provide hope, right? Everything that we've
Yeah.
gone through, God just uses it to bring out a passion and a purpose.
Yeah. I'm curious to know your transition from, so you said you got licensed in psychology. So you were like a clinical psychologist,
No, I never got licensed in psychology. I just have a bachelor's degree.
a degree in psychology. Okay.
Yes. So,
So,
you can't really do much with that.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you have to
Um,
get your master's in that. And I never did because I got married, I had kids.
got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So initially, can you walk us through a little bit more about like what it was like for you in the early days of the eating disorder and like what symptoms you were experiencing, what um and how you were met with like treatment options from or lack of treatment options as it sounds like
Yeah.
through the traditional medicine route and like
Mhm.
how it was different from what you ultimately ended up experiencing at that clinic in California.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I started my eating disorder. I don't even like call it my eating disorder. I started the eating disorder behavior in middle school because I thought I was fat. I wanted to lose weight. I watched a Karen Carpenter movie. Do you remember Karen Carpenter?
Mm-mm.
No, you're too young for that. So I watched a Karen. So all those listening out there who are 50, I might remember Karen Carpenter. I watched the movie and I thought, oh, she lost a bunch of weight. I can do that, but I'm not going to end up like Karen Carpenter. She was the singer and she ended up dying from bulimia.
Oh my gosh.
Um, I know, right? But twisted in your brain when you're 13, you're like,
Yeah.
well, I just do it for a
This
little
is a
while.
good
I won't be.
idea.
This
Yeah.
is a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
And family dynamics, what they were growing up. My mom had a lot of issues with food and weight and those kind of things. So it wasn't a healthy environment for in that aspect in our family. And so I was really secretive about it. And then when I went to college, it just kind of exploded because then you're drinking beer and pizza and you gain a little weight and then like, whew, it's just your mind just goes crazy. So I
Mhm.
could control it in high school and not many people knew that it was an issue. But when I got to college, I was binging and purging multiple times a day. It was just like I had this newfound freedom, what you want to call it, but it really put me in bondage. And so I was struggling with that for a really long time, going to counseling. I was in an eating disorder group. And honestly, it kind of made everything worse. The more I talked about things, and really wasn't able to process things because I was binging and purging all the time. So my brain it was not well. It was a very unhealthy brain. And
Yeah.
the
And then you're
group
not
was
getting any of the nutrition that you actually
no,
needed. So
and
like
let's
of
just be,
course you
it was an unhealthy group. We were all the same. We were these messed up kids in college, and the person leading the group wasn't fantastic. Like they were messed up,
mm,
so it just wasn't, and it wasn't God honoring. And it was just kind of a mess. And so, like I said, I moved away thinking, well, that would solve everything. Well, it didn't. It just got worse. Boys don't fix things. So, and then I got that article from my friend Penny. And so I went out, well, back up just a little bit because I tried to get into a couple eating disorder clinics and, I did their intake interviews. And honestly, I'm pretty much the same size I was then as I am now. I was 140, 145 pounds. I'm 5'8". It's like my weight is pretty much stayed the same. It goes up and down a little bit depending on where I am in life. But I was eating, binging and purging all the time, and I was consuming thousands of calories a day. So, my weight had crept up then, so I wasn't skinny enough to get in. And I wasn't suicidal, although I had just recently passed out and had some seizures. But I just didn't fit the parameters. And I wasn't willing to go on medication because I'm like, I just knew that wasn't the answer, and it just did not settle in my spirit at all. And she told me, she's like, I don't think you should go on the medication. We've got to figure out a different way for you. And so, again, I tried a different counselor, I tried a different group, and just none of that. I went to church, but then my youth counselor, my college counselor at the same time, she also had an eating disorder, so she wasn't helpful. It was like all these weird things. And so when I finally went out to the clinic, they're like, okay, let's address your physical first and get that brain calmed down. Let's get the brain balanced, and then we can deal with the emotional stuff afterwards, right? Because I was trying to deal with the emotional stuff with a brain that was so depleted, so malnourished. And once the brain was better, then I could work through the other stuff. And like I
Yeah.
said before, a lot of it just it wasn't there anymore. Or it was like, oh, it's not a big a deal as it was. I can walk through it, move through it. And it takes a couple years to kind of move through all those things, but within 6 months, I was definitely done binging and purging.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is just wild to me that you weren't like sick enough to
Yeah.
get care because you weren't suicidal, but like that's just I hear so many stories like that, and it's just so sad.
Well, it's frustrating, but at the same time, I mean, I understand. I mean, there was a bunch of anorexics in there. They're on their deathbed, right? Like you can see it, like they can barely walk, barely function. I mean, I understand why the clinics can't let everybody in, and at the same time,
Yeah.
there really wasn't a place for me
Yeah, there
to
wasn't any
get
other
well.
options
There
though.
wasn't another
That's
option. It was
yeah.
either go to these groups and these counseling sessions that really are not healthy, or navigate it on your own. And I tried. I really, really tried, but I couldn't go to work because there was days where I would just get in this binge and purge cycle, this depression cycle, and
Yeah.
like I just couldn't go to work. I got fired from places. I couldn't finish nursing school because I wasn't making it to my clinicals, or if I did, I was just not there and not doing well, and I failed a couple classes, and it was just a mess. And I
Mm.
had bad relationships with my parents because it was challenging before I went to college, and it got worse after I went to college because they didn't understand. My mom didn't understand the whole eating disorder thing, and she just thought I was doing it to be rebellious. And so that wasn't healthy, the way that they handled those things. So it was just messy.
Boy. Thank you for sharing all of that. I know that's like a really vulnerable like story. I'm sure it's yeah, very feels very vulnerable to share that, but I think it's powerful to see like somebody like yourself who was in
Yeah.
such a deep, dark, low place to
Yeah.
now like where you are now.
Yeah. It
So I'd
was it
love,
was so dark. Like I
yeah,
would steal food from grocery stores. It was just, you'd walk around and shop, but then you'd eat like, 6 donuts on your way around the grocery store. It was just ridiculous. So it
wow.
was dark. I look back, I'm like, that was not even me. I cannot even, it just feels like a whole nother person and a whole nother life. And I'm so thankful the Lord brought me out of that and
Yes,
has
amen.
put me on this path. I mean, total healing from it. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
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 I love like yes, that's I know the feeling of feeling like you're so like a healthy detachment from the
yeah,
past, right? And it no longer defines you.
correct.
I think that's something that I struggled with for a lot of years, like myself having gone through all of the my story and my history. And it's like I felt like it defined who I was all the
Right.
time. And it took a
Hmm.
lot of years to get to the point where I was like, oh, I actually don't have to carry this anymore. Like it's a part of my
Right.
past.
Yeah.
It's a part of me, but it's I have this like healthy dissociation from it now where it's like
Hmm.
It doesn't define me. And now it
Yeah.
actually has given me purpose and
Hmm.
shown me, God brought me, like redeemed the whole situation and brought me
Mm.
out of it and showed me exactly what I'm supposed to do with my life. And
Yeah.
for you, the same thing, which is just like so beautiful.
It is so beautiful because he's like, cast all your cares on me, right? Don't
Yeah.
worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow's enough worry of its own. Like
Oh, I
he's
love
got
that.
it all. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd love to kind of shift gears and talk now about, now we understand like the landscape and like where you are coming from. I'd love to shift and talk about where you are now and like how you're using that story and your past to help other women. You talk about like you're the calm mom, right? And
Yeah.
you talk about the calm mom method. Can you kind of describe to us like first of all, like how did you come up with that, and like what is that and how do you use that to help other women?
Yeah. I mean, I've been seeing clients since 2012 and was just trying to come up with to call it, to market it, right? And so I was praying about it. I fasted and prayed one year and God just gave me the calm mom. So that's how that really came to be. But the whole method is we calm the brain first with amino acid therapy. And then once the brain is calm, then everything below the neck gets easier to deal with. So then we can go to the gut. Because if your nervous system is still on fire, right, then it's really hard to heal the gut. And so there's that gut brain axis. But my goal is most of the time it's a brain to gut axis and not usually a gut to brain axis. So we calm the brain first, then we go below the neck, then we work on gut healing and detox and hormones. And if you have a thyroid or adrenal issue, we'll address those things through functional testing, and just practical life skills. We're really working on honing in on that diet, and mitigating your toxic exposures in your home and in your environment, and all those kind of things. So just letting you take a deep breath so that you can actually make changes that'll be long lasting for your family.
Gosh, I love that so much. Yeah, that's so we were talking before we started recording, like how many similarities we have. I know
Yes.
like we very much believe in this, the same thing. I've had lots of conversations with people that um like it doesn't even make sense to do like gut testing on you right now
No.
because your nervous system is a wreck, and
Yeah.
we have to get your nervous system calmed down first before we can go through and like try to heal your gut. Because it's
Yeah.
like, it doesn't make sense. Like healing your gut, going through a gut protocol is actually going to stress your body.
Right.
And if your nervous system is so dysregulated that you can't actually like calm down, you're already stressed.
You're
Like,
already stressed. Yes.
yeah, like we don't need to add more stress to your body. Like you're not going to feel good. And then
Yeah.
as soon as you stop the protocol, you're going to feel right back where you like, go right back to where you are now.
Right. Right.
So I so resonate with that. Um, in your experience in like coaching women through this, like what do you feel like is the most common, or like what are some of the most common complaints that people come to you with?
Well, most of them have at least anxiety. Sometimes there's the depression thrown in there, but we as women tend to be more anxious, than men for sure. So most women come to me with anxiety issues and hormone issues, right? And usually they're on one or two medications. Usually it's a thyroid medication and an SSRI, maybe something else. It just kind of depends. But they're just feeling desperate and frustrated, like nobody's hearing them, nobody's been able to help them. They're on these medications, but they still feel this way. And I use different questionnaires to kind of assess things in the beginning. And so you can be on an SSRI when you come to me, and I'll give you the serotonin quiz. And it's still all like 8 to 10s, like the top of the chart, 8 to 10s. And so I'm like, what do you like without your SSRI? And they're like 27s, or they're like, I just don't feel like it's made any difference to me. And so there's still usually a lot of issues going on, even though they're on the meds and they're in the right range according to the blood work, but they still feel crappy.
Yeah. What do you think is like the um root of that? Like why are women still feeling anxious and like emotionally dysregulated and burnt
Mm.
out when they're Because I find the same thing, and I think
Yeah.
I know how I would answer this. I'm curious to hear
Yeah.
what you think.
I think we believe so many lies, Melissa,
Oh,
of what it looks like to be a woman today, what it looks like to be a mother and a wife, that you have to do it all. Like we're believing so many lies and not really embracing who God created us to be. And I think it really depends on which church group that you're in. Some of them have very poor messages about what that looks like. Some of them, they're, yeah, very poor messages. Some of them are spot on. Like, I've been to some churches that, like if you're a wife and a mother, you can't do anything else. Like you can't have a podcast, you can't have a business, all these things. And at the same time, other churches are like, you got to put your kids in daycare, and it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, both of you, I just crazy stuff. So I think there's a lot of lies that have been told to us in our generation, and I'm older than you, so both of our generations have believed those lies, and I think we're trying to unwind those for our daughters, but we haven't done a very good job at it yet. So
yeah.
that's one of my missions is to help to unwind that, because I have my business, but we've also homeschooled, and we love the Lord deeply, and yeah, I mean, there's so many things. I think society is a big factor, and the church really hasn't stood up for us as women, and then we don't get the right care when we go to the doctor. We're expecting the doctor to help us when in fact they only have 10 minutes. And so the easiest thing for them to do is to give us an SSRI or a thyroid med and like, you're just aging. Here you go. Good luck.
Yeah.
Oh, you have really bad clots. You have
Should eat better.
endometriosis.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Here's birth control, right?
Yeah.
We just don't get the care that we need. We're so disconnected from our bodies and the way God created us to live and to be, um, that it just causes so much dysfunction. We've normalized the dysfunction,
Yes. Amen.
right? We've normalized the dysfunction.
You just stop right there.
Yep. Yep.
And you kind of like touched on it, but I'm curious like to even like go a little bit further. Like I know and like those lies that we believe about like who we're supposed to be, like we know that that comes from the devil, right? Like we're
Straight
believing
from
all
hell.
this.
Yes.
Yes. Um, but where like um how is it coming to be so prevalent in our culture, in our society, and inside of all everyone we know?
I just think we haven't had good teaching, right? I think the church has become lazy for the most part in how it teaches the word of God. If we look at statistics and stuff, there's definitely not as many church-going Christians as there used to be for sure. So I think that's a huge part of it. And we've taken God out of everything. Like everybody's offended by something. And so if somebody's offended, then none of us can say anything. And because we're good Christians and because, we want to love on people, we just stop saying things. We stop speaking truth. And I think that leaves people where they are and not motivates them where they could be or where God created them to be.
Yeah.
Um,
It leaves people open to like believe the lies and
yeah,
believe
believing the
their
lies. Yeah, and not enough people. I mean, the whole, you know, I don't want to get you taken down off of YouTube or anything, but that whole shabogle that we went through with that whole viral thing.
yeah,
I mean, I got taken down off of every platform just because I was talking about the immune system. And so, things people didn't want that message to be out, and I didn't have a
yeah,
big following, and so there really wasn't a lot of people standing up during that time.
yeah,
Most of the churches around here closed. And so you didn't have that entity standing up for you as well, saying, no, this is a lie. This is not right. This is straight from the pit of hell,
yeah,
and don't listen to what's going on. I just so many poor messaging there, and I think the church stepping away and kind of going in the background opened the doors. I mean, within 3 months the whole entire country was on fire in the major cities. I mean, I just
yeah.
And then that opened more doors for a lot of propaganda to come out that just wasn't true. And it really influences our young people
Yeah,
who are in a system where they don't have a good discernment level because they're not taught that. They're taught for a test, they're taught to follow directions, they're not taught to think critically.
yeah,
And so, and then we're expecting them and we're surprised when this generation decides that, this is the path we're going to go. And then they don't really know who they are, who they were created to be. It shouldn't be
right.
any surprise because it's been set up that way.
Right. And then their whole, like, they don't have any family structure at home to
No.
like guide them in the right way because we're like, their parents are more anxious and depressed than ever.
Right.
Divorce rates are higher than ever, and they're, not going to church, and they don't have any like
They don't have
anyone
the community,
speaking
the
real
culture.
truth
Hmm.
into their life.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I could just go on and on for that
We could go
forever.
on and on for this. Yes.
This is like you just hit it right on the head. And just how important like being in community,
Yes.
speaking the truth. And I speak a lot about, and I really do think a lot of um what we see in like just this, we this anxious generation that
Hmm.
we
Yeah.
see right now. Like kids growing up nowadays are, I think, technology for like it's
Yes.
good in so many ways,
Hmm.
but I think technology plays a big role in
I
like
do. It
just this.
disconnects us at this.
Yeah,
I mean, it's trying to connect us, but it seems to be
that's
very
yeah, that's exactly what
disconnecting.
I was just gonna say is like that it's we're like more connected than ever, right? Because
Right.
we have like you're in Ohio, I'm in Colorado, and here we are
Yeah.
just talking, seeing each other's faces, and like we're also actually like more disconnected than ever
Yeah.
because we
Well, it's just
have
like my
so much at our fingertips.
totally. Well, my daughter was just in my office here and she's like, guess what Chat GPT and I were having a conversation about? Which is fine. I mean, it's a good tool. I use it a lot,
Yeah,
for things and stuff. But she's like, well,
yeah,
nobody else is going to talk to me about this. So I can throw it into this, chat bot
yeah,
here and chat's going to talk to me about it.
yeah,
But we're creating this
yeah.
environment where we don't necessarily need, quote unquote, need people, but we do need people desperately.
Right. Human connection. There's no replacement for it.
There is no replacement for it. And it is hard to find your community. It is hard to find that culture that you thrive in. And there's been times in my life where I'm like, I feel like I just don't have anybody that I can connect with. As a homeschooling mom, like you don't go to the 8:30 a.m. Bible studies because you got your kids at home. You don't have a lot of things in common with the people at church because you're the only homeschool family in church. And so, your culture is totally different. You don't participate in all the same things. You don't belong in the public school system. And then, like, where do you fit in?
Right.
Um, but I think that pushes us to rely more on Christ for one, right? So we're learning to rely on Him. And if we're trusting in that whole process, like He promises to give us the desires of our hearts when we're trusting in Him. And so, now I have some amazing friends where it felt like a desert. Now I'm like, ooh, you can get rejuvenated and revived within those friendships and that community. And it's a beautiful thing, but it's just waiting out those desert moments that seems really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it is hard. But sometimes God makes like things like if we have idols and things that are not um of God, like he will
Hmm.
strip that away,
Yeah.
right? And you will
Hmm.
be in the desert. And the Bible doesn't ever say that like there's never gonna be difficult times. There's never gonna be times in the desert. In
Right.
fact, it says quite the opposite. It says
Hmm.
like you are going to go through trials and you
Hmm.
will feel alone. And like you're the only person on earth. But guess
Right.
what? Like that's when you lean on me, him. That's when you lean on him
Hmm. Hmm.
more, and he will bring you out of that
Yeah.
darkness, out of that aloneness. Like he is just there's the grace of God and the love of God, like is just absolutely incredible. I want to shout it from the rooftops. I
I
want
know.
everybody to know
He's so
him.
faithful. He's so good. We're so blessed.
Couldn't agree more.
Hmm.
Um, what what advice do you have for women, the mom who's listening right now who feels like she's anxious and overwhelmed and completely depleted, she's pouring from an empty cup, and she's not getting the support from her doctor. She's on SSRIs, thyroid medicine, feels like crap, not
Yeah.
sleeping, probably not eating the best. Like, what's like the best, like, I don't know, one, two things that you feel like she could do right now, today, in
Right
this?
now, today, yeah. All you ladies out there listening, guard your sleep. Guard your sleep. And I know some of you listening are like, I gotta have little ones and they don't sleep. I know it's a challenging time. Um, and do your best to rest because you can't heal if you don't sleep. You can't heal if you don't rest. And so we're really crappy at resting as women. And so that is one of the biggest things is to just get some rest. Like that has to be your priority. Go to bed at the same time every single night. Don't try to do 42 things after your kids and your husband go to bed. Like really set your alarm instead of your morning alarm, set your nighttime alarm that says 10 o'clock is bedtime. Maybe for
Non-negotiable.
non-negotiable, non-negotiable, right? Because if you don't sleep, you can't show up for your family. You get grumpy, you get mean, you get sick. And so
Yeah.
if that happens to you, then what good are you to your family? You know what I mean? So number one thing, just work on your sleep, work on your rest. There was a period of time where like my daughter, she just was a horrible sleeper. And so I would lay down with my feet on the couch and the kids would be in the living room with me because we were homeschooling. And my son would read a book to my daughter and I would just lay there and I would breathe and just rest. And it would get me through the next few hours because I was having an adrenal crash at that time. And you just have to do those things. It doesn't mean you're a bad mom, doesn't mean you're lazy, none of those things. But please, ladies, just rest.
Mm,
Just rest. Like, ask grandma, ask your aunt, ask a neighbor,
yeah.
whatever it is, see if they can watch your kids so that you can take a nap. Because a lot of times, all we need is a nap and a snack, and then life is way better.
Yeah.
I mean, when our kids are grumpy, what do we say? Oh, they need a nap. Well, they're
Yeah.
hungry. Hello, you're the same.
Yeah.
You're still a human being just like them. So
Yeah.
get a nap and a snack. Protein, that would be number two. Bump up your protein. I love Paleo Pro protein powder. Get that. It's all animal based. You can get chock full of so many good things in that protein powder. Have a couple of scoops of that a day, and you will notice a huge difference in how you feel. So
Yeah.
protein, protein, protein. If you're like, I can't eat that much protein, get the powder. It doesn't matter. Just do it. Just
Yeah.
feed your brain, feed your body what it needs, and you're gonna feel a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those
So
two
good.
things, sleep, protein.
So good. Sleep, I think, is such an underutilized
Oh my
tool.
goodness. Yes, it's a tool. It's vital.
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
to sleep.
Requirement. Yeah. People don't
Requirement.
understand like your nervous system is like everybody knows like your sympathetic, your fight or flight.
Yeah.
Your parasympathetic is rest, digest, and heal. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have to be in a rested state
Yeah.
in order to digest your food properly and extract the nutrients from your food in order to heal your body. Like you think like your immune system's going to function fully if you're not sleeping or if you're getting
No, not at all.
4 or 5,
Yeah.
6 hours of sleep. Like what are your recommendations for sleep if they're having like outside of you did say ask for help, which I think is a
Yeah.
great piece of advice. Like ask for help, ask a neighbor, get a babysitter. Like your husband can watch the kids when he gets home so you can take a quick
Yes.
like 30-minute nap before dinner or whatever. Like get help. If you don't have help, like what are other ways that you could get help, and like what do you think are the best like the recommendations for like getting the adequate sleep that you need?
Oh, well, again, you just go to bed at the same time every day. and then you get up at the same time every night. Like get your body into that routine. And I know
Yep.
some of you were like, but I can't sleep. Well, then you probably need to find somebody that you can work with to figure out why you're not sleeping because there's a lot of different reasons. It could be your cortisol level, it could be your hormones. It could be, um, what is your bedtime routine like? Are you shutting your phone off early enough? Is your room dark enough? Is it cool enough? Those are things like turn on a fan, you might sleep better because your room is cooler. Anything above 70 degrees, it disrupts your sleep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's a free thing to do, get some blackout curtains, shut
Yeah.
off your phone early, make sure your Wi-Fi is not in your bedroom or behind your bed, your headboard in another room, basic stuff like that to see are those things disrupting my sleep. And then
Yeah.
if you run through the gamut of those and you're still having sleep trouble, then you need to work with, like Melissa or myself to figure out why that's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, I just had this conversation yesterday with somebody who she's actually a psychologist, and she was saying um that she, like, if people come to her and that's their number one concern is like insomnia, that she sends them to their medical doctor because she doesn't feel like she can really address that
Yeah.
issue with them. And she said, "What's your perspective on it?" And I kind of said a lot of the same stuff. I said, "Well, if
Yeah.
they're not sleeping, like, the medical doctor is just going to give them Ambien. Like, they're
Hmm.
not
Yeah.
actually going to like figure out why they're sleeping." And I think, like, personally, my whole like philosophy and foundation is like the nervous system is the most important system in the whole entire body because it
Yeah.
regulates everything. Your nervous system, your central nervous system is your brain and your spinal cord. It
Hmm.
controls everything. It's the control center of your body. Tells everything what to do. All of your nerves innervate every cell, tissue, and organ in your body and give all of the messages that you need to complete every single task that
Yeah.
you do. So if you're not caring for your nervous system and you're in a state of fight or flight all the time, like, no wonder you're not sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
regulating your nervous system, like taking a few deep breaths, like,
Yeah. Learn how to box breathe. Learn how to do some of those things. Taking a warm bath before bed. I have this thing of salt that I have in my desk, and I stick my finger in the salt all day long, right? And sometimes the only thing you need to do is have some salt before bed because that calms your brain down.
yeah.
Like it's like spark plugs to your brain. So I always have Redmond sea salt on my desk. And sometimes people are drinking like a ton of water before they go to bed and they have to wake up to pee. Well, stop doing that. Like
Yeah.
let's look at the practical things first.
Yeah, drink the water in the morning,
Drink the
pee
water
all that you
earlier in
need
the
to,
day.
and then stop. Yeah, totally. Oh,
Yeah. Or
can we
stop
be best
drinking. Don't
friends?
drink a kombucha at night. There's caffeine in there. It just depends on what people are doing. So you kind of have to tease out those little things.
Yeah.
And then if it's still left over, then let's deal with it. Because there's some people out there that I just have a client, several clients right now that their sleep is just like they're doing all the right things and they still can't sleep. And so their system has just been stuck in overdrive for so long. They have some hidden infections that we have to deal with. And then I think their nervous system will calm down. So
So good.
it can be complicated.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I love all of that advice, Lori. You are a powerhouse, and I am
Thank you.
so just ecstatic to have had this conversation and to hear more about your philosophy and your work. And the world needs more of you.
Oh,
And
thank you. You too.
um, yeah, I mean, like, this, that's why I do this, is like, I feel
Hmm.
like this work is transformational. Like, it's transforming people's lives all the time. Like, the
Yeah.
clients that I work with are just blown away by the completely different person that they are.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's so beautiful. So thank you. If somebody is listening and is curious to know more about you or wants to get in contact with you, what's the best way for them to reach out?
Yeah, if you want to reach out, like you want to have a chat with me, go to Instagram and it's the Calm Mom Community. So find me on there, Calm Mom Community, and send me a DM. And I would love, love, love to chat with you. Tell me you found me on the Holistic Health Podcast, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. And I'll include all of your links in the show
Thank
notes.
you.
So if you guys want to connect with Lori, go do that. And if it's not Lori, find someone, like,
Yeah.
find your person, find somebody who you trust, who you resonate with. Like, interview them and make sure it's the right fit, because working with somebody in like a functional nutrition, functional coach, functional doctor, like some sort of like health coach capacity, the relationship is so important, and
Yeah.
building a really like supportive, nurturing relationship is truly like the piece that's going to help you transform so much of your life. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, any like final words, anything else you want to say?
I would just, like I said, yeah, just find somebody to work with because you've like a lot of people tell me, well, I've tried everything. But no, you haven't. You haven't tried everything, and there's still hope out there. You're not a lost cause. God has a plan, and you just have to keep stepping forward because He promised us every place that we put our foot that He's already gone before us. And so we know that there's victory when we keep moving forward, right? And so just like He told the Israelites, you have to go take the land. So sometimes our health is taking the land. The Lord did not give us sickness and disease. That is not from Him. That is straight from the pit of hell, and He's going to provide us a way out, right? So we just have to go fight those little battles, fight the battle, and get to that other side. So I just want to encourage you, don't lose hope. If you're interested in amino acid therapy, clearly contact me. I would love to chat with you about it. I also have a group of practitioners that I train. So I have a certification program, and I can refer you to one of those too if we're not a good fit. So I have a lot of resources for you. So
Wonderful.
God bless all of you. I'm so excited to be on the podcast, Melissa. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. And thank you all for listening. If this episode resonated with you or you found value in it, would you leave me a review and share it with a friend, share it with somebody who needs it, and see you on the next episode. Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to Holistic Health with Melissa. It is such an honor to have you here. If you found value in today's episode, would you share it with a friend who might need it too and leave us a review? If you have questions or topic suggestions, reach out on social media or visit our website, holistichealthbymelissa.com, and take care. I'll catch you on the next episode.